Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is pretty much a follow-up of the other video that I did earlier today when you had Los Angeles Unified School District coming out talking how they were going to test all their students and all the staff, okay, repeatedly. And they talked about how they would, if needed, quarantine your children in school and keep them from you. They said it as clear as day that they would isolate your kids in these schools if needed, okay? Now check this out. Over 900 in Georgia district quarantine as high schools shut. It says Canton, Georgia. A Georgia school district has quarantined more than 900 students and staff members because of possible exposure to the CV since classes resumed last week, and will temporarily shut down a hard-hit high school in which a widely shared photo showed dozens of maskless students posing together. Okay? I remember when these videos came out. When they were showing it in mainstream news, they were showing videos and camera, both, camera and just, still photos of all these kids jammed in the hallways, not wearing a mask. And I said, there it is. That was done there on purpose. They needed to show that. That's perfect because they're going to use it, just like we've been talking about. Oh, well, all the kids went back to school, the kids didn't listen, and now look what's happening. Now we literally have to lock everything down because it's 10 times worse because now the kids are spreading it. Okay? And they are saying that more and more kids are becoming, coming down with CV19. So you see their storyline, how it's, changing. First it wasn't, oh, they're not very susceptible. Well, now all of a sudden they're going to continue to say more and more and more how these kids are actually getting CV and dying from CV. Just wait for it. They're just going to continue to use this. Says the quarantine figures from the Cherokee County School District include at least 827 students according to the data the district posted online. Located about 30 miles north of Atlanta, the district serves more than 42,000 students and began its new school year on August 3rd. On Tuesday, Georgia, yeah, that's how it said it, posted its highest single-day death total yet in the pandemic at 137 fatalities, according to the State Department of Public Health. The state is currently averaging reports of more than 60 deaths each day, though people may have died earlier. Of the fatalities reported on Tuesday, Department of Public Health spokesperson Nancy Needham said 75 occurred in August, 54 in July, and 8 earlier. More than 4,300 people have died overall in Georgia. 4,300 people have died in 8 months. You do the math and tell me if that adds up. Given the high number of CV19 cases confirmed at the end of July, we are unfortunately seeing deaths related to those cases, Needham wrote in an email. Okay, can you explain this to me then? If you had these high numbers of cases that were confirmed at the end of July, then why in August are you sending the kids back to school? How does that make any sense? How does anybody even believe what they're saying right there? The state continues to average more than 3,500 new confirmed cases of CV each day, with more than 222,000 infected so far. The school quarantines were announced a day after Georgia Governor Brian Kemp said that the reopening of some of the state's schools amid the CV outbreak has gone well, except for the viral photos of the students crowded together without masks. The photo showed students standing shoulder to shoulder in crowded hallways at North Paulding High School, northwest of Atlanta, and squeezed together for first day of school senior photos at 2 high schools in Cherokee County, including Etowah, which has had more than 300 students and staff members told to quarantine. Few students in the photos wore masks. See? When they sent it out, I knew it. I knew they were going to use it, and now here they are. Well, just be ready for it because they're going to use this, and they also in here, they talk about how they've been told to quarantine. That's what we're going to have to watch for, because they can say, oh, well, we told them to quarantine, self-quarantine at home, or are they being told to quarantine and forced to quarantine in certain places. It says, Democrats strongly pushed back against Kemp's assessment that school reopenings were proceeding safely, blaming him and President Donald Trump for failures. Obviously, if it's political, there isn't a real threat. I'm sorry, but I will repeat that over and over and over again. If there was a true threat against all humankind, it would not matter. They would not care if you are Republican, Democrat, black, white, on the red party, the blue party, it wouldn't matter. They all would be in agreement, no matter what, for the better of mankind for us to survive. Cherokee County School District Superintendent Brian Hightower said the district was temporarily shutting down Etowah High School starting Wednesday and had hoped to reopen the school on August 31st. 59 students, teachers, and staff members in Cherokee County School District have tested positive for the virus so far, he said, though it's not clear whether any of them were infected at the school. We anticipate positive tests among students and staff could occur, which is why we put a system into place to quickly contact, trace, mandate quarantines, notify parents, reported cases, and quarantines to the community. You see the mandate word? Mandate quarantines. Notify parents. So does this mean you're talking maybe you're going to quarantine our children and then notify the parents that, oh, sorry, they're positive and we're keeping them? I'm not saying they did that here, but you know that's definitely on the table. You know, and right here is why you know it. It says, Barbara Jacoby said in an email, she says this, we are not hesitating to quarantine students and staff who have had possible exposure to a student or a staff member who has tested positive. If that statement isn't as broad if you will ever hear, then I guarantee it. They didn't say they're not hesitating to quarantine students and staff who have tested positive. They didn't even say who have had exposure. They said who have had possible exposure. That's it. Yep. Eric, you were at a grocery store that, saw Steve. Steve was in touch with John, and John has a child at the school where this broke out. Oh yeah, that's how stupid and ludicrous this entire scenario of contact tracing is. The quarantines have affected at least 19 schools in the district. The district gave parents the option of sending their children to school or having them learn from home to start the year. Jacoby said about 9,600 students are learning from home. Other Atlanta area school districts decided to scrap in-person learning for virtual instructions after cases of CV19 in Georgia began spiking again. Cherokee opened without a mask mandate for students, though staff must wear masks when they are unable to maintain social distance. Hightower urged the school community to use masks. We know all parents do not believe the scientific research that indicates masks are beneficial, he said in a message posted online Tuesday, but I believe it and see masks as an important measure to help us keep schools open. See, once again, wear the mask because it's just to help you. It's just to help us keep these schools open. And you like how they mock us too? I know a lot of parents do not believe in the science that indicate, yeah, you're right, we know, because we've seen the true science, the other side of it. Says more than 80 Georgia school districts have opened or plan to open for some kind of in-person instruction by August 17th, according to figures kept by school reform group Georgia Can. The Georgia High School Association, meanwhile, provided WXIA-TV with an updated figure for the number of students and athletes who have tested positive for CV. Since it allowed schools to begin summer practices in June, the number now stands at 866. When these types of reports are coming out, it's national news. How are they thinking about sending kids back to school if there is this so-called threat that they are talking about? Lines up perfect with what we're saying, that there is no threat, no real threat. Not the one that they've been talking about, so of course they would be able to go back to school. And Georgia Supreme Court Chief Justice Harold Melton extended a statewide judicial emergency through September 10th. That means jury trials and most grand jury proceedings remain prohibited, but his order says a task force is looking at how these proceedings could be safely held, including the possibility of holding them remotely. See, that's another thing that not a lot of people are talking about, right? These courts have just locked up, right? So you have people that are in there fighting for their freedom, fighting for their lives, and they can't even have your court now. So they're just going to sit there. Like this is happening everywhere. Oh, well, it's not safe for us to do these court proceedings. Really? You can go to Walmart, right? Yep, you can protest, right? But we can't run a courtroom. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. And of course, what is it? It's a task force. That force word over and over and over again. Says this broad prohibition cannot last too much longer, even if the pandemic continues, because the judicial system and the criminal justice system in particular must have some capacity to resolve cases by indictment and trial. Yeah, you think? You know, it's just showing more and more how they are going to use this, okay? They're going to use your kids in so many ways, so please, please share this information. Please don't be one of the parents that gets the phone call and says, sorry, your son or daughter has tested positive and now we have to quarantine them. You know, we just got to stay ahead of this. That's why this is all about a plan. This is all about being prepared and nothing about fear. You need to be prepared ahead of them. So when all the other people are running around freaking out, what do I do with my kid? I can't get my kid out. You're already good to go because you didn't send them in the first place, or you are, you know, a few steps ahead of them. Trust me, it will help a ton. Please make a plan with your family. Sit down today. It costs no money. Sit down, draw it up, get a copy of it in each one of your kids' backpacks or in their, you know, whatever. If you have to send them to school, you know, whatever it takes. Let them know where they need to go if something like this happens. You know, you have no clue if they're going to send the kids home or tell them they're taking them somewhere else. You know, it's just a real scary thing when it comes back to your kids, you know. And I think that's why this is all going to blow up so big come this fall and winter, because of everything else that's going on. But I think that, you know, them holding kids against parents' will would be the ultimate, you know, firecracker for sure to go off. So alright, I got a few more videos that I need to get done, and I want to get that information out to you, so I just want to tell you all, continue to share this information, talk to your family, talk to your friends. We are making a difference. Every time you talk to some person, that is another chance that somebody will get the information, you know, in front of them, and it may save them, save their family from getting this vax or sending their kids into situations like this. I love you all. Please continue to pray every single day against what is going on. I love you all. Talk to you soon. God bless.